From a technical standpoint, especially, I mean, so I'm gonna move over to amps now because
let's do it.
You're an Epifani person.
Yes.
I'm gonna try try not to make this sound like
I have
an
been now for
infomercial.
like 20 years.
Me too.
Yeah.
So what without like I said, I don't want this to be an infomercial. Like Epifani's great, wonderful, wonderful. But that being said, what is it that you could have picked anything, and right now every amp manufacturer in the world would quite happily throw an amp in your face, in your hands, if you wanted them to. Right. What is it that, by what criteria did you decide to go with Epifani?
Well, very simple. I can't tell the amp is there when I'm playing Epifani. Being an acoustic bassist, aesthetic is very important to me. Meaning that I think that this instrument should sound how it looks. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It should sound like a big wooden instrument, a big wooden violin. Yep. And I think there was a period in jazz or whatever you want to call it, where the combination of the pickups and the amps really altered the sound of the instrument a bit too much for me. Mm-hmm. You heard a lot of the string noise. You heard more of this. You heard more of the strings than you heard of this.
I got you. I got you.
And I think that when I first started playing Epifani amps, and I realized a lot of that is the player, because any good player can use any amp and find their sound and make it work for them. Mm-hmm. But I was brought to Nick, like I said, about 20 years ago, by a mutual friend of ours, Danette Albetta, who works with Victor Wooten.
I remember Danette.
Yeah. And basically Danette said, you're going to use these amps or I'm going to hurt you.
I can picture Danette saying that, actually.
No, but we went to, I believe it was, did we come out here? And we just like now, we had a bunch of amps lined up like that. And we just tried a bunch of different EQs on all of them. And I don't know what it was, man, because I was able to very easily find a good natural sound from all of the amps. It just really did enhance the natural sound of the instrument. Like example, like the amp is on now, but I think if somebody were in the room, they probably wouldn't be able to tell, because I've always felt like the amp should just really enhance the natural sound of the instrument. It shouldn't alter it. It should enhance it, I
agree, yeah.
And but then when I would switch to electric, it had a certain warmth that I was used to, because I come from R&B soul background, so I'm used to the bass. I like a nice bottom swoop. You know what I mean? But I realized that a lot of with that bottom swoop, it doesn't cut very well. You know what I mean? So what I found is that I could still keep that warm bottom, but enough mid-range that it's still cut. You know what I mean? And I had a hard time finding that on other amps. I would find it, but it would take more time to kind of figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with Nick's amps, it was just easy as pie.
Cool.
And they've worked in all kinds of situations. I've played Epifani with some will call my chamber trio, when it's just acoustic bass, piano, and guitar. I've played it in large ensembles, like at the Apollo for like a big pop or R&B show. I played it on tour with John McLaughlin and Chick Corea. I've played it playing duets with Edgar Meyer. So it can work in absolutely any situation.
And when you switch, when you're on stage and you have to switch between songs, between electric and acoustic, do you reach back and dial something different in, or do you just sort of?
Well, I solved that problem by I used to do that. Now I use 2 amps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or I use a head with 2 channels.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I'll have one setting for the electric and one setting for.
And can you put words to the difference between the sort of the EQ and the gain and thing? How are the settings different between the two?
More or less, it's pretty flat on both instruments.
Okay.
You know, certainly for the acoustic bass, pretty much everything is at high noon. You know, everything is straight up for the most part. Maybe a tweak here, a tweak there. You know, where like the bass setting might be at 11:55.
Right. Okay.
Or 12:05, depending. You know, the bass might be rolled to 11:55 or 12:01. You know.
And is that a reaction to the stage
room.
that you're? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a reaction to the room, or the band itself, but mostly to the room.
Okay.
Yeah.